Hello, it's Joe Mark Witt, Antonia Dodge, personality hacker. We are finally, I should take my sunglasses off too. It's really bright and sunny. It's sunny California. We're here for profiler training in Los Angeles, and we're gonna go over to Dario Nardi, Dr. Dario Nardi's office to get our brain scan today before profiler training starts. We've been wanting to do this for years.
Yeah, I first connected with Dario like 10 years ago, and I've been wanting to do it ever since we met. So this is finally our opportunity to do the brain scan imaging that Dario does on us for the first time, wanting to do it for 10 years. So
we're headed over to West Hollywood. Let's go. All right, so Dario puts like a thing over our heads, and then I saw there's like a syringe. He puts some kind of a, I don't know, some kind of a thing. It looks like he's shooting you in the head with like a needle from what Morgan had on there.
awesome.
All right, so we finally made the trek all the way to West Hollywood, where Dr. Dario Nardi's office and studio labs, whatever they're called, I think it's his laboratory, right behind this door. We're gonna go in right now. Antonia's already in there filling out some paperwork, some intake forms, which I should probably be doing right now. So I'm gonna go and do that first, and then we're gonna get our brain scanned. We're basically gonna hook stuff up to our brain and watch on an EEG machine which cognitive functions light up based on certain questions or activities. I actually don't really know what's gonna happen yet. So as we go in, we're gonna learn this together in Dr. Nardi's studio. So come on in with us. All right, so now we're inside the laboratories. And then Dr. Nardi's getting stuff set up right now. And Tony's gonna go first. She's gonna be the first guinea pig. Life is gonna be good. We're gonna see what happens. So keep watching.
Yeah. This mirrors the cap layout. This is a nylon cap with sensors that pick up voltage. It is completely passive detection. There's no, some people say, oh, I feel the electricity. I'm like, there's no electricity.
So remind me of that.
Yeah, and you have normal ears, not slippery ears, which occasionally is something I have to contend with.
Slippery ears.
People have some of them slippery ears. Yeah, it's just like everything falls off from the ear. I don't think that's a technical term.
Those people are first on the chopping block for eugenics.
Yeah.
The slippery eared among us.
That looks a little bit tight on you. You're not one of those skinny necked people.
No, but I don't have slippery ears.
Right, yes.
The thick necked will be the next to go.
Yes.
Slippery, gritty ears and the
You
thick
don't
neck.
have thin neck. Well, thank you for noticing.
Yeah. Now we're going to put, this is a water-soluble gel, it's conductive. This is not really a syringe. I mean, it is, but it doesn't,
It's terrifying.
yeah.
I'm very
The
sad.
point is that each of these it's a donut shape, and we're just going to get the gel in between to create a continuous conductive layer. The good news is, even though you have a lot of hair, it's on the thinner side. It's not poofy.
You are
Gritty ears, thick neck, thin hair.
We'll say the hair is
This man is not happy. The good news is, you have a thick neck and thin hair.
No. This is British FE.
Oh, this is British FE.
Yes, yeah. Remember, those who know how to be nice know how also to be mean.
Yes.
Yes. And then
And
both at the
decide.
same time.
Bless your heart.
Just say bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
How old is the equipment?
And that's a good question. This is
I mean, I'm not
maybe 4 or 5 years old.
I'm not criticizing it. I'm just asking. I'm curious what.
Okay, so this design.
What are your
of the cap-
qualifications, sir?
Yeah. This cap design is from the 70s, and this is the industry standard.
Okay.
Yeah, worldwide. So
It hasn't been
it's-
upgraded since the 70s?
because it works.
Oh, okay.
And, just because we can do something new doesn't mean we need to.
Yeah.
So it's, what has changed a lot is this processing box. I mean, that's like leaps and bounds over the decades.
Okay.
I have another box which is like 8 times the volume. So it really is nice to have something small now that I can actually take with me internationally.
My brain can't help it.
Oh no, right, I'm giving you a huge distraction. Let's place a large number of books in front of an ENTP, but not allowed to page through them. Yeah.
So you're seeing her brain scans right now?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk? Can I talk to you while she's doing this? Or ask you questions? Or is that going to distract
Well, no, I
you?
would prefer not, because we ideally, actually, honestly, you should leave the room.
So I got kicked out of Dr. Nardi's studio. I had to come out here because back in the bungalow they're doing Antonia's brain scanning, and they told me I had to come out here because I couldn't be in there because we're married, a married couple, and it will actually throw off our like results. So they just kicked me out. And I had to come out here and hang out with Dimitri outside. But we'll find out Antonia's results. I think Christian's in there filming her. So I'll get to see it later with you actually.
Okay.
We should live next to each other so we can be BFFs and braid each other's hair.
You know, I'm growing my hair out very, very slowly, but just on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so eventually I can have Viking braids for like 3 months. Just to see what that's like. So we're going to start with meditation. Each of these activities that we'll do, we're not going to do the full set. We don't need to. We'll do about 35 minutes worth of things. What I'd like you to do is to sort of sit back and relax and feel the weight in your feet, in your legs. Yeah, perfect. Close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Okay, you can come back. Wonderful. You're very good at relaxing. So what I'd like you to do is to sign your name. Okay, beautiful. Now you have a couple minutes to work through those math problems. It's not really time for that. Now we're going to do something completely different.
Okay.
Put a plus sign by the ones you find personally positive, minus sign by the ones you find negative, and the only trick is you have to have an equal number of pluses and minuses by the end. Now we're going to have some fun with words. I'm going to read you some words, and I would like you to use them in a sentence. Dog leash.
I use my dog leash when walking my dog.
Perfect. Fish leash.
I use my fish leash when I must walk my fish.
Wonderful. Very good. Pumpkin seed.
I recently removed all the pumpkin seeds from pumpkins when we were making jack-o'-lanterns.
Dream seed.
I don't do lucid dreaming, so instead, when I want to dream something, I create dreams.
Now I'm going to give you some sentences, and what I'd like you to do is briefly explain to me what the sentence means.
Okay.
However, their meaning may be unclear, or they may have multiple possible meanings. My son is a baby.
It means that the male child you birthed is not very old. Also that your older son is spoiled, rotten, and acts like a baby when they don't get their own way.
She faced more makeup.
She faced more makeup means that that she put more makeup on her face, but it also could mean that when determining whether or not a person was going to, or whether or not this woman was going to put on more makeup to hide her aging, she faced the representation of what that makeup means. She faced its implications.
So now I'm going to show you a picture and ask you what's going on.
So the first thing that pops in my head is that this is a woman in 2 stages of her life. As a young woman, and is also in her crone phase. And as a young woman, she looks quote unquote off camera because life is difficult when you're young and you still want to, it's harder to face life directly.
Could you tell me more how they each feel emotionally?
So the younger woman is avoidant, probably not feeling things that directly, probably very busy. Anybody who's not looking things directly in life is usually not very present to their emotions because they feel overwhelmed by them or overwhelmed with what they imagine them to be.
Okay. Now we're going to do some geometry. So everybody loves.
Yay!
So this is 2 views of the same object.
Okay.
Your task is to match each of the numbers in this view, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to their corresponding letters in the other view. Okay. And you can use any process you want.
Okay. Surprise!
Surprise! Yes, okay. Ooh, let's do this one here, some introverted sensing. So before we start, I'd like you to select a childhood memory that you're going to explore. So what I'd like you to do is, again, sort of relax in your chair and close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. And I'd like you to return to that memory as if you were there again. And focus on what you were seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling. And how did you find that last section?
Probably the the most accessible memory I have is the birth of my daughter.
Okay.
And so at the end, it's all positive. I mean, it's traumatic, it's intense, but it's all positive and beautiful. Am I pulling it off? Are my ears slippery? My earlobes?
No. Yeah, the cap keeps it pretty firmly on. Yeah, unless they were really slippery ears. Yeah.
Which I am not one of those people.
No, you're not.
Because they're the first to go.
Yeah.
Followed by the thick neck.
And then the thin hair. Yes. Yeah.
Thin hair. That's right.
This is a pig and
Yeah.
its little structure, and the idea is you want to knock it out. You have the slingshot, and the bird's loaded to the slingshot.
Okay. That pig's had it.
Yeah, occasionally.
What? No, he's going. He's out.
There
Done.
you go. Done. Excellent. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you the iPad again for you to look through a gallery of pictures of 24 young people. You can think of them as potential people that you might, in the community, that you've been asked to take out to lunch. You only have
hot or not written.
No. You can use whatever criteria you want to select. What criteria did you end up finding you used?
People who seemed like they would disagree with me sometimes to have a more interesting conversation. But also I was looking for signs of security
Yeah.
so that they wouldn't be too insecure.
And did you find any of your knowledge of personality type came in terms of looking at these?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you see any fellow ENTPs?
I think that's probably why I chose that kid. She looks probably an F, but she looks like she could probably be an interest, like she's got a sassiness about her. So so NFs that are sassy are more interesting.
And yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Yes. It was great. We got lots of great stuff.
Findings unremarkable.
No. I mean, it is true that the computer will, through the analysis, come up with stuff that I'm not seeing with my eyes.
I haven't seen you in your element before.
Oh yeah.
This is charming.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, this one is an amazing book by FBI agent.
Oh,
yeah, this is
a lot
from
of
like before time began, from the previous century. From this, I collect a lot of stuff where people give me things. Like these are from Africa, from my aunt. This is from when I went to Rio. Yeah, and then there's this really cool like boomerang from Australia. The bat's not from Australia, but he just sort of hangs there. And of course a lightsaber up there, very timely. And some Nerf guns, just for fun. And this is a genuine sock monkey from the 1940s, and the monkey came with the chair. So this is an overview of the brain here, and it just is like a way to reference some of the things that were active. What really stood out were these two regions here. So this region is involved with paying attention to word content, hearing and speaking, as opposed to voice tone, intention. So this is more the measurable aspect of listening and speaking. Of course, the executive regions would also get active with you, especially as an extrovert. And in fact, we'd see even further down here and here. So these regions that are involved with rapport building, imagination, interacting with others, values, attitudes, personal beliefs, more associated with this region. And then your two CEOs here. I would say this one here was a little bit more active. So this right one, which is the more open-ended CEO, there were times when these regions would get active too. What I was very happy to see, two things. One is during meditation or recalling the past, these regions back in here get in a nice, relaxed, body-connected state where you're visualizing and feeling what you're visualizing. And that means that you really have effective ways to relax for yourself, which is important. And then this region here got active a couple times, specifically when you were working on that 3D rotation problem. You were really trying to get it. It was like halfway through, really focused on that. And then another time is you were looking for a third student from the gallery there. Right. And trying to settle on that third one, and then that region became active, and it became active simultaneously with this one here. So it's, and in the first case it was here. So it may be, like you're visualizing a little bit in your mind's eye, like all these different angles and options, because this region is associated with, managing multiple variables at once. Yeah.
So I'm not anticipating any sort of one-to-one correlation between my personality type necessarily in all of this, but
Right.
like let's say I came in and I had no idea what my personality type was.
Mhm.
Is there anything in here that is deductive for you?
This attention over here to detail, to word content, is going to suggest you're probably not an FP type. So it could be FJ, paying attention to social feedback and word speech, but it could also just be, judging in general, so that attention to detail. And it could also be that attention to words is then thinking as well, even introverted thinking. So I'm definitely seeing now this capacity for complex thinking, and that would push me more in the direction of intuiting thinking preference, or possibly intuiting feeling, but with a lot more of the intuiting focus. Or it could be like a thinking perceiving type in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm here with Antonia. She just finished her session. You had like little, I didn't get it though.
I did. I had these two little round things
Little
that made
donuts.
me look like, Christian said I look like a clown.
Yeah.
So it's all very gentle.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not, I mean, there were moments when I had to do math, and I haven't done math in a long time, so I panicked.
I have to do math in this?
You will have to do math. I should have even warned you.
I am screwed.
Yeah, so there's but it's all very gentle, and and then I
Like,
guess.
how hard is the math? Is it like algebra level math? Or is it-
I'm not going to tell you anything.
I'm worried about embarrassing
I'm telling you
myself.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, you'll just have to find out like I found out. The hard way. The school of hard knocks.
All right.
So, so it was very gentle, but it was very interesting. And we don't get to know the full findings until, of course, we get the printout and all that stuff. But apparently, I have some activity in my head in the front CEO region that indicates that I'm definitely not an FP, most likely. I had a little bit of, in our terminology, extroverted feeling or FE regions lighting up at certain times, and also a little bit of NT regions lining up at certain times, which would indicate NT or NTP. So anyway, I don't know. It was all very interesting and fascinating.
Okay. That's my turn.
It's your turn.
There's gel stuff in your hair. Like
Yeah,
crazy.
Dario said that it's supposed to feel like boogers pretty soon, so I'm gonna have boogers all through my hair. So I'm super jazzed about that.
Did you hear that, Piper? My mom's got boogers in her hair.
That's right.
All right. My turn. Great.
Okay. And so now we're going to
Do I
put
look?
on
Do
these.
I look ridiculous? I hope I do.
No, they're very. It's very like 1970s space fashion.
I'm from the 70s. I can be in the 70s vibe. Have you ever had anybody like freak out or like have a really weird session?
A little bit with because there is a psychiatrist I occasionally help out. I do brain imaging on his behalf for his clients. So the answer is yes, but that doesn't happen with normal people.
Okay.
So, and by normal I mean like within the norm.
So you mean typical?
Typical.
Neurotypical.
Yeah, neurotypical. Yeah, or behavioral-typical.
Okay.
Because a person could be neuroatypical, actually, and be quite behaviorally functional. There was a time when they would see these unusual brainwaves occasionally, people and wonder, like, oh, what's wrong with them? Like, what's going on? It turns out nothing was wrong. It's just how they operate.
Do you have people try to game the system or like just throw you off?
Game.
I mean, but do they try? That's my point. Like,
but I mean, sometimes people want to see the monitor or something, and I'll like take a picture and show it to them or turn it around. But there's not really anything to. I mean, most people are paying to be here, so it's like, why would they want to mess up their own results? Yeah.
Sure.
And even when they're volunteers or they're from a company and the company is paying for it, still they
want to take it serious.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, I think so. It's their opportunity to find out how their brain works. And there's a pretty good curiosity around that. And it's a little bit different from, say, taking a personality test.
Sure.
Where people may view it as a test or, afraid that they're not going to put in the right answers or whatever it is. Here it's like, you are who you are. I'm more concerned, when the person comes in, is this a good time of day for them? How do they feel mentally? Like if they had brain fog, this is probably not a good time for them to come in. Normally 4 p.m. is my nap time.
Okay.
I'm okay today.
You take naps?
Since I was a teenager, yeah, the 20-minute naps. I used a light and sound machine in the 90s to train myself to take 20-minute power naps.
What?
And it worked very well, and I've taken them ever since. Even an 11 a.m. nap might be in order. You know, like hobbits and second breakfast, except for me, it's like the second sleep. One of my students years ago did a study on temperament types and napping, and collected some other information and found that male NTs nap statistically significantly more often than other types.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Well, you know, the brain uses, 25% of the body's energy. The brain is a very greedy organ, and so if we're using a lot, especially at high frequency, not just high amplitude, but high frequency, that I imagine the brain gets tired.
Basically, is there anything physiologically I should be concerned about, or just like basically you want just like normal behavior from me? Right?
Yeah.
Like how it would normally be.
Yes, yeah.
I'm kind of an insane person though, like normally, like not insane, but like I act.
We have almost, I think, 50 ENFPs now, especially after the trip to France, where like a third of the people were ENFP.
So you're used to my type people.
Yeah, I'm used to your type, albeit different ages and from different planets. I mean, like, I'm glad you recognize that about me. Okay.
I have a stomach full of rainbows ready to vomit on you anytime.
I would just say, just be careful about using your wild hand. Keep your wild hand tame, and it's all good.
Oh, I feel so awkward and stiff.
Yeah, you're very big on visual aesthetics. I can see that's your brain is really focused on that. Yeah.
I just thought it was a kinesthetic person.
Visual aesthetics is like a big thing for you, or at least what you're doing now. So we're going to start with some meditation.
All right, so just kind of chill.
Okay, now if you could print your name using your other hand. Okay, great. And now I'm going to give you 2 minutes of time to be working through those math problems. You've done 2 minutes. You can.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah. I'm going to read you some words, and I'd like you to make up a sentence that uses the words. And if you don't recognize the words, do your best to fake it.
I'm an ENFP. That's what we do for a living.
Dog leash.
Let's connect the dog leash and take Rover for a walk.
Perfect. Fish leash.
I feel like the fish will be able to jump off of his fish leash if he's not in the water.
Dream seed.
I'm gonna plant this dream seed in your head, and you're gonna have an amazing time. There is a younger woman looking off, thinking, and it feels like there's an older woman behind her, knowingly looking directly at the viewer, looking at me in the eyes. And there's a knowingness behind your eyes, and almost an unawareness, or at least an unawares of the woman in front. So there's a contrast in my mind with like this woman here is not as aware as the woman in the back.
And how do they each feel emotionally right now?
Again, the woman in the front feels very drifting and daydreaming, kind of contemplative. The woman behind feels very in the know. She's insightful, and she and I are connecting right now, and we kind of know something about what's going on, like non-verbally. We're in this non-verbally, and it's like, I get what's going on here.
Some people try and rotate in their head, like people have different approaches to the problem.
Sure.
You can use any approach you want.
Okay. Did we get it right?
There's still number one.
Oh,
here.
number one. I didn't
Yes.
see that one. Yeah, number two. I've already forgotten it, because once I did it, I totally wiped my mind with it. Because I hate it so much. This is like literally the most waste of time I could possibly think of in my life.
You have mastered it.
I've passed.
You've defeated it, yes. We're going to do something with memory, recalling of a childhood memory.
Okay.
And so what I'd like you to do is relax in the chair and close your eyes and go back to that memory and review it in as much detail as you can, as if you're there again. You're hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling at the time. And overall, how did you find it?
Very hard to stay with it over and over. Like once I did it like twice, I was like, oh, I just want to go, where else am I continue reviewing that?
It was, you were actually able to go deeper though, when you did it, what felt like probably the last time. Yeah, just the way your brain changed. It showed you were getting more connected.
When I connected to the kinesthetic elements, it was much easier to get.
So that's what I was.
The visual elements.
Yeah. So I was going to say that what was less active than usual is the visual parts. for you.
So,
But the kinesthetic parts actually really came to the fore to these regions C3 and C4.
yeah.
So feeling the memory,
Oh, yeah.
having some sensation with it. So that was great. It wasn't there the whole time, but it was there a bit of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice to see that. I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll do a good job regardless. If you want, you
Sure.
can squeeze
This
it.
guy definitely, I'll take him. He seems
Okay.
like he looks like he wants to be successful, but he's
Mhm.
like, he doesn't know what he's doing around it. So he like wants to, he's got the drive. That's what I'm vetting for.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
You found the secret now, just to hit the four
It's
words.
it's the bass. What
Um,
happens if I whistle?
You want to whistle a tune?
Sure.
Let's go for it, okay?
What happens?
That's great. Yeah.
What does it even do? Like, I'm just curious.
No, I mean, your brain got more active, and it was
Okay.
nice to see that visual area here come back again. I think you have like a serious mode and a more fun mode, and the fun mode includes more like visual aesthetic attention.
Gotcha.
But a visual region can also be used for managing patterns or the experience of something, and so maybe that's what you were.
I'd love to see what happens if I could bring up the emotion of stress or anxiety. What would
Oh,
happen?
okay. And how do you do that normally?
Live life. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, like when I'm like, okay, so I start thinking about all the stuff I gotta do for the profile training tomorrow. Like, cause I feel like people are dependent on me. I could probably get myself in an agitated state, like an anxious state of like, oh crap, that's like almost my tertiary, like, oh, that's gonna be undone. I hope they get this, the whiteboard.
Well, you
Is
could
that-
make a to-do list.
Is that something that would activate it?
That would be TE for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
The panicking isn't TE. That's the not to doing TE.
Well, that's how I.
You're right.
That's how I experience
yes,
TE, dude.
Right.
All right, so like,
The to-do list.
that is amazing how fast that went. I can't believe it was 35 minutes.
Yeah. We have some exciting shots you can use for this week. All of the folks.
I want to be just doing the thing I do well.
You arrive on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal, is just to like show up and have to not think about anything.
Mm.
Just walk on stage and have it all done.
I know it. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I just
not
want
there yet, but that's what I
Yeah,
want.
I just want to have to walk over to the lounge, see the margarita there, and I mean, yeah.
You're like, I gotta go, bud. You gotta get out of here.
Right. Over here, when you're asked to do what's called, like the sixth function kind of thing, what does that look like? Examples, all of that.
Oh, wow.
And then the synergy with your opposites type. So for FPs, I mean, you're an FP, but mostly both of you are NP types. So extroverted intuiting. So these are examples of using both SI and NE together. Not trying to carve out a space, it's just that one function.
So it's the polarity.
It's the polarity, and to integrate them together. And then what does that look like as examples?
Okay.
And then we'll be bringing that together as part of this, like, what space are you in your life? Sort of like it's like shadow space.
So you think you
Ego
could maybe
space.
speak to some of this at the next profile training?
I'm thinking that this is a really fun exercise for people to do, but I'm thinking this is really good information for people who want a little bit more advanced stuff, but because it's not theory so much as it is tons of examples of how to start doing that. Because I noticed that when Linda Behrens went up to speak at San Francisco APT, and we ended up using INTJs from the audience, and half of them could really relate to this like NTJ SFP combined style, and half of them couldn't. I could relate to it. And then I thought, well, because some of us have, like found some kind of, integration in our life, so I do NI-SE stuff together.
Yeah.
And then there are other INTJs who just like SE is like the little thing in the corner.
They
Yeah.
never touch, yeah.
Right, that they don't touch. They love talking about it, but that's all.
Right.
So I think that for people who want to know, like, where do I go after the second function, then this is third, fourth, and sixth function stuff. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my side, looking at the hemispheres,
Yes.
I was over here. I'm
Yes.
imagining he was over here.
Well, yes and no. So he still also had the side on the left and in the front, just like you. He didn't have P4, but he had O2 and P6, and O2 is his visual aesthetics, holistic vision, which was the most active region for him. Yes. He is a kinesthetic guy, but he's actually more visual than kinesthetic. So it's
Really?
but it's not visual precision, it's visual aesthetic.
What does that mean?
Right, so you appreciate her beauty.
Okay.
So that's yes, yes.
But I'm not picking her apart like detail.
Right, you're not. No.
So like your
No,
nose
no,
is
no.
too big. Your
No,
neck is too.
she's-
Your
she's
neck is
better
too
at that.
thick. What did you say about her? Her neck
No,
is too thick.
no,
Hair is too thin.
Right.
I did not.
She did
I
not have
did
slippery
not
ears.
have
She does
slippery
not
ears.
have those things.
She doesn't have slippery ears.
Yes.
But I do have a thick neck.
But I don't
and
notice
hair.
any of those things.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
not picking it up.
So we both just got our brain scanned by Dr. Dario Nardi, our friend Dario, and we highly recommend you come do it. It was actually a very gentle experience, very cool, and we very much appreciate him inviting us.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about it?
No, I just want to get Dr. Nardi on more of Personality Hacker stages in the future.
Yep.
So you got to help me. Make sure you write into him and say, you got to be on with the Personality Hacker people. Go be on their stage, be on their platform, be on all their stuff because he's awesome and I want his stuff to get out there.
Yep.
And if you want to book a session, you're in West Hollywood or if he's anywhere traveling the world, he's got his
Yep.
brain scanning stuff, make sure you look him up because it's going to be a really good experience for you too.